Hello, this is Mima. Welcome to Blue Flamingo in a Beta. It has been a while since my last recording. My plan was to do the second one a month after the first, but in the beginning of December, basically lost my computer, so I couldn't do anything. I couldn't. Well, I could have just recorded the audio, but I wouldn't be able to edit it and put it on YouTube. Well, I could have done that, but it wouldn't look the same, and I didn't want to do it because it was very frustrating being without my computer because it's the it's my only means of working, and it's also my biggest form of entertainment. Like all my video games and movies and stuff, I they're in my computer, and while I can read books and watch YouTube videos and stuff on my cell phone. My cell phone is trash. Everything is harder on my cell phone, and I don't like the size of the screen. Doing things on a smaller screen is always annoys me. And also just the frustration of not having my computer, not being able to work, uh, and just if getting well, I lost my computer because the charger broke, and I went to every single store I knew, and none of them had a good replacement, and that was so frustrating. Fortunately, my brother knew someone who could fix my charger, so I didn't have to spend a bunch of money because it would be very expensive to get a new one from abroad. So yeah, I got my computer back. I think it was last week. Yeah, I went a month without my computer. And you think like because I couldn't work, I could just rest in the whole time, and I was super relaxed. I had a vacation of my life. Nope. I just realized that yesterday. I didn't rest at all. I was stressed the whole time. Also, partly because of the holidays, but also just the fact that I had a problem I couldn't fix was stressing me out so much that I didn't rest at all. So I'm back to work. It feels like I didn't never stop. Or like it feels like I'm only taking a break now. So yeah, that was the first thought. Like I have a list here of things to mention in this recording, and that was the first point, like why I was missing for so long. But like it feels weird to explain this and stuff because I know like there's only like 3 people listening to this. So it's not like anyone was waiting for the next episode of the podcast. So yeah, it's weird. Sometimes I wonder if like I don't have plans of making a big thing out of this. But some people they do when they start doing stuff like this, when like they start doing vlogs or a podcast or something, they do it with the intention of growing an audience. Like it must be really awkward. It is very awkward to be here like talking, but it probably works for them because they want to build a brand, so they can act like me, like I'm doing right now, admitting that no one's gonna watch this. Like they have to act like they already have the audience. So it's probably really like first videos and first episodes probably really weird. Like I remember when I used to write like on my blog, I always be like, do I do it like other authors, like leave a little note at the bottom, like for like asking questions and stuff for people. But I never had the courage to do it because I knew that the only people reading were like my friends and my cousins. And yeah, If I could have just asked them personally. Now I publish webtoons on occasion, and I just like that feeling is still there. Like, do I talk to an audience? Like, who even needs my audience? Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Next topic. For those who don't know, I was born in 1996, which means until my next birthday, I'm 27. But the thing, when the year starts, I always start like counting my next age because my birthday is in the beginning, like it's in March, so it's in the first half of the year. So I'm gonna spend most of the year like with my next quote unquote age. So normally I start doing the switch like in the beginning of the year instead of being like, oh, I'm 27. I start saying I'm almost 28 and then just say I'm 28. But yeah, this year, right now, I'm 27, and I've really been embodying that scene from Pride and Prejudice where, what's her name? Charlotte. Where Charlotte's like, oh, I'm 27, no prospects, no money, and I'm already a person to my parents. Yeah, that has been me the entire year. And like I was so optimistic for like my whole life. I always thought that at 27 it will look completely different. Like I would be married, I would have a job I like, I would have a house, I'll have a car. And now I was just talking about how I was struggling to replace a computer charger. Some people are like, oh, like things are different in our generation, but I think I have to admit that there were things that I could have done differently in my life to be in the place I wanted to be, because I kind of just expected that things will happen like magically. Like I wouldn't need to look for anything I wanted. It's just gonna happen because it's part of life. And I think that's part of the I think it's part of the danger of making young people think that just getting married and having kids and getting a job and buying a house and a car is just parts of life and not things you have to work towards and work to maintain, because it kind of gives the impression that it's going to be easy when it actually isn't. Anyone I know who like me who dreamed of getting married one day, like most of them just like the struggle, we weren't prepared for the struggle. Like we were like in my country there's a big emphasis of preparing women for marriage, but there's no conversation about getting married in the first place. But it's like you have to know how to cook, you have to know how to clean, you have to do this and that when you're married. But like, how am I getting married? Who am I marrying? Yeah. And on the money question, like, there are so many things I could have done differently. But like, I guess just talk about this on another day, because my thoughts on this are all over the place. And I look, just a quick summary is that I'm just not a very ambitious person. I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna build a business, I'm gonna climb the corporate ladder. I'm just like, I just some there are very few things that I'm interested in doing, and I spend most of my life being told that it wasn't possible. So I always try to do other things, but I was never good at it. It never would lead to anything. So yeah, I'm broke. I'm broke and single. I'm broke and single, and I have acne. Another thing that I thought that at my age, at my current age, it wouldn't be a concern at all. When I was like 15, I thought that like when I was 20, 21, 25 the most, my skin would be clear, but like I'm gonna be 30 in 2 years and my skin is showing no progress. Like it's not as bad as it was when I was in college. Like I didn't finish college, I dropped out. Another bad financial decision. Or maybe it was good, who knows? Yeah. I still have acne. But it's not as bad as before, but like there are certain problems that just not can be solved with topical solutions. Like the stuff like blackheads and your skin being too dry or being too oily, those things, they're kind of easy to fix. But stuff like hormonal acne, it's just a different ballgame. And because I am broke, as we already established, it's like all either like the solutions I know of are taking a bunch of meds that I don't want to take, or like being very thoughtful about my diet and my sleep schedule and my workouts. Like I already work out, and but the problem is that I struggle with insomnia, and I'm not in a position to be in actual control of my diet because I'm still a burden to my parents. So I guess, yeah, acne isn't going anywhere, and for the next 2 months and 2 days, I will continue being 27 with no money, no prospects, and a burden to my parents. Next, let's talk about a post I made on my Instagram. Like, this is something I'm planning on keep doing this, like on my Instagram, on the Instagram page with the same name as this YouTube page, YouTube channel. Yeah, anyway, is post about like stuff I see on the internet to get opinions and stuff, and then talk about it in this channel. Today's topic that was actually made this post months ago because, as I said, my plan was to record this months ago. The post was about wedding day proposals. There were actually two posts. Post one: is it okay to propose on someone else's wedding? As the situation: A is getting married and B is dating the love of his life. B wants to propose to his lover, so he asked A if he could do it during A's wedding reception. What would you do if you were A? One of the replies we got, like the only reply I got, was nope, not cool, and I will not like it. I will not like that at all. It's my one and only big day. Please respect it. You can propose yesterday or tomorrow, but not today. Thanks. And I completely agree. That's 100% my stance. Just why would you even ask that in the first place? Why are you putting me in the situation of having to tell you no when you could just, yeah, like the person said. I don't know if I should mention her name, but yeah, like you could propose yesterday or tomorrow. You had like the year has 365 days, like most years, 365 days. Why do you have to do it during my wedding? Like especially like in, I don't know about other cultures, but in my culture, like there's the wedding, there's the wedding reception, and there's the continuation of the wedding. Like the like after the wedding, people go to the wedding party and stuff, and throw the bouquet and eat the cake and stuff. And the next day, we like people get together again and continue partying. You're like, you could have just do it on the continuation. You want to do? Why would you want to do it on my wedding day? Like on my wedding party, like I'm still there with my bride dress. Why would you want to propose then? Like it's just, some people are like, oh, it's cute, I would have loved it. Like, okay, but like don't pretend that like one thing I really dislike about this conversation every time I see a post about this is that people act like the brides who want this or they're okay with this, they're better than everybody else. All the other brides are, all the other people who get married and don't want this in their wedding day, they're selfish, they're not good people, they're bridezillas. And like, no, it's their wedding day. Don't make it about you. If this is like blowing someone else's candle on their birthday, just just you could just do it. You have the rest of the year, you have your own birthday. You could just choose a random day and propose then. You don't have to do it at someone else's wedding. And I know, like, maybe, again, it's just my culture speaking. I don't think wedding proposals are something that should be glamorous and public. Like I've seen a lot of people seem to put a lot of emphasis on this. Like the hair needs to be perfect, the makeup, the clothes. There needs to be recordings and stuff. Which is, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Yeah, going to the next post. There were two posts that said like it's the same story, but like it goes like the A is getting married, B wants to propose, yada yada. A refuses, but B does it anyway. That's the second post. What would you do if you were A? Reply number one, I wouldn't do anything in that moment, but B and I are no longer friends because I specifically told B not to do it. This means B doesn't respect me, what I think, or our relationship. So I'll put boundaries right there. And another reply, because I've got two replies. We're growing. Oh my gosh. B is in the wrong and no longer involved in my life. You do something at my wedding that you asked permission for, and I just distinctly refuse. Nope, we're done. And again, I'm on the same boat as these people, because like, just even in any other situation, someone is already established a boundary, and you purposefully cross it. You're completely disrespecting that person, even if you don't think like it's that big of a deal to propose to someone else's wedding. Just the person you ask, the person getting married, already told you that they're not comfortable with that. If it's not that big of a deal, then don't do it. Respect someone else's boundary. Respect their day. Their respect their space. Respect them as people. Like this, I I don't get a little bit confused because there's a bunch of things that I'm remembering at the same time. Because this topic of respect keeps popping up on a bunch of things I see online that people don't seem to understand that like they kind of owe other people, especially people they say they care about. They always owe them to at least try to be better for them. Like, don't just do whatever you want. You're not the center of the universe. You're not the protagonist. This isn't your show. Like, be a little bit more respectful of others. It's gonna make life so much easier for everyone. And like, it's still on this topic of like wedding proposal and stuff. Like, we're talking about like guests asking for, like, asking the people getting married if they can propose at the wedding. Yeah, that's bad. But like, I don't think like the bride or the groom should be proposing that to other people either, because you shouldn't be going to people and be like, oh, this is a good way for you to propose, unless that person actively told you like, I want to propose, I don't know how, give me ideas. Like, just don't get yourself in this topic. Like, I sometimes people can they kind of indirectly pressure people for proposals. I'm 100% against pressuring people for proposals. Like, let it be organic. Because like, even if like I've seen people post like, oh, I gave my boyfriend an ultimatum. If he doesn't gonna marry me, I'm gonna break up. Just break up with him. Just break up. Like, if you have to like give him an ultimatum, like the relationship, so he clearly doesn't want to marry you, just leave, find a guy who does. And the same, like, don't pressure someone indirectly or directly to propose. Just let it be organic. Let him or her, like, women are proposing to nowadays. It's the 21st century, whatever. I wouldn't do it, but to each their own. Don't pressure people to propose, and don't propose at other people's weddings. Yep. Next topic, like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this again. Like, the first recording, I said what I was reading. I don't remember what it was. I think it was The Three Musketeers, maybe. I read another book in the time I was without a computer, but that was a long time ago. The latest thing I read is actually, it was a rarity. Is I finished reading a web novel. That doesn't happen very often because I either give up or they stop translating it, or just something happens and I just continue stop reading it, or I have to take a break and or just reach a point of the story that I don't want to read. I want to take a break and I never pick up the story again. But this time I finished a web novel. It's called "It's Better to Be the Empress Dowager" or Dowager. I don't. This is one of those words that I never heard being spoken in English, so I have no idea how to pronounce it. But yeah, it's a shiny story. I'm not gonna try to read the author's name. Just let's not. It's like it's one of those things that I call a trash story, but not because it's trash. It's because it's one of those, like, just by the summary, you know it's not that serious. So I'm lately I've been really into time travel, isekai, revenge kind of story. It's its own subgenre. And like this story is about this girl. She in a like if you ever watched like a Chinese period drama about a harem, you know what kind of character I'm gonna talk about. Like they're very kind of stupid female villain who does everything she can to get the main guy, but the main guy always prefers the female lead, and she always goes too far and end up dying tragically because she committed a crime or another against the protagonist. Yeah, that's our protagonist in the story. She was gonna be that character, but thanks to this book, her mom basically like her mom took her to a shaman or someone of the sort to talk about her future and her luck and stuff, and she was told that she was gonna have extremely bad luck, and to combat that, her mom had to donate half of her fortune, and and for that they gave her a book that was completely empty, and she had to pray next to the book every day, and she did because she loved her mom and she does everything her mom wants. So yeah, um, and the protagonist, one day when she was picking up the book, words suddenly started appearing in the book, and it revealed to her that she was gonna be the female villain who's going to die and stuff. So the story, the story starts with her trying to change her fate and trying to use the book to steal the original female lead place, but like everything she does backfires. Everything like every she always chooses the option who drives her away from the main guy, well, the original main guy, quote unquote, because the actual main love interest of the story is this other guy who she ends up with. Yeah, it was a fun story. Yeah, I laughed a lot. There was some more serious part, but I didn't take it seriously at all. But it was a really cute story. Like, not not the greatest masterpiece of our time, but it was good enough to entertain me, and like that's better than I can say about most stories, to be honest. Yeah, and the last thing I've watched, I don't watch a lot of things. I'm probably gonna take this from, not gonna do this either on the next recording. Last thing I watched was Guardian of the Galaxy, the third movie, and I cried because of a raccoon. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, thank you for listening to this point. Let's hope my computer doesn't die until the next one, and that I don't take us long to record another one. Yeah, thanks for listening. Bye bye.